everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So, this movie sort of came out of nowhere, and when I saw the trailers for this one, I thought, what the hell is this about? How many celebrities do they have in this movie, and what's the story here? I was sort of kind of curious of this one, but I didn't see it in the theaters because it bombed so massively in the States that it didn't get a theatrical release in Sweden as I remember it to be. It might be wrong in that case. But the thing is that I also keep seeing these horrendously bad reviews that this movie got. This was comedy poison, one of the worst things that people had ever seen, they said. So my expectations when I finally watched this movie were so low that I thought, this is gonna be one of the worst movies I've seen in decades, I thought to myself. Turns out, no. Either I'm insane or the rest of the world is insane, but I actually found this movie to be quite funny because I started laughing and I kept laughing. I thought that this movie, while not being a brilliant movie, and I understand why people hate it, to me, this really worked. Let's find out why it worked, shall we? This is my review of movie 43. Quaid plays a movie producer who is sort of taken almost hostage by this complete lunatic who, tell him that I have a pitch, I have a good movie for you, and he pitched to his idea, and then we get to see that in a short, almost Saturday Night Live type of a sketch, like 7 to 8 minutes long, maybe 10, maybe 5 sometimes. Then when the pitch is over, Dennis Quaid said, that is the worst thing I've ever heard. Oh, no, he says, I have something new here, and then rinse, repeat. So the entire movie is essentially a bunch of movie pitches that has come to life that we get to see. Now, why did this movie work for me? 2 reasons. My biggest complaint when it comes to movies are usually one of the following. The movie was too long. They ran simply out of comedic stuff to do before the runtime did. And then the movie starts to drag and stuff like that. This movie does not, because we have these 5 to 10 minute long segments that we get to see. They never overstays its welcome, and while not all of them work, the majority of them did. And for those who didn't do, I always knew that, well, in a few minutes I'm going to see something new that might work better. And I think that some of these sketches are absolutely brilliant. The blind date with, Kate Winslet when she goes out with Hugh Jackman, who has a gigantic ball sack underneath his chin, but for some reason nobody seems to notice that, and they played it entirely straight. It was completely gross and fucked up, and it was hilarious. Anna Faris wants Chris Pratt to take a shit on her while they're having sex, which is gross, but they sort of work it into this weird kind of fascinating tale that also works. We have Liev Schreiber and his wife who's homeschooling their son in the most fucked up way possible. It is so gut-wrenchingly uncomfortable to watch, but it is also so hilariously over the top, and you're just sitting there thinking, my god, this is horrible. Emma Stone throws some of the worst insults I've ever heard at Macaulay Culkin's brother, I think that is. Even Jim Cornette would be impressed with you, with those insults. Mrs. Stone, and Richard Gere in his completely messed up iBabe segment with the naked chick and stuff like that. It works. Bernie Mac delivers a very unnecessary pep talk, and the list goes on. And as I said, I, for some reason, loved this incredibly gross and raunchy humor. It was just my type of comedy in this case. In other cases, it might not work. In some cases, I would just say, no, I didn't like that. But in here, it kind of works, and I don't know why. Every segment doesn't work, as I said, but every one of them at least have some type of interesting concept to itself. Everybody has at least a bunch of big stars and Hollywood names that you will say, oh, how the hell did they get so-and-so to do that? How did they get Halle Berry to take Truth or Dare to an entirely new and completely messed up level? How did they get Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville to kidnap a leprechaun played by Jared Butler, who just yells insult at them and seems to be very, very focused on, you know, cutting off their balls and stuff like that? It works. I think they are very entertaining, and as I said, the movie never overstays its welcome, and the variety of things we get to see in this movie. Now, do I understand why people hate this movie? Yes. Do I understand why these people have a horrendously bad rating on IMDb? Absolutely. Do I know why this movie absolutely flopped? Absolutely. But for me, it worked. Will it work for everybody? Absolutely not. There is a lot of people that will see this movie and just say that it is a gross, messed up and unfocused hodgepodge of bad ideas, and just a bad idea, a bad idea, a bad idea doesn't make, you know, a good movie. But for me, it did. This time. It may not work the next time somebody does something similar, and it might not work the next time that somebody does something gross and messed up like this thing, but this time it worked. I have rewatched a couple of, you know, the sketches just to try to figure out whether or not I was, you know, wrong about, you know, the whole thing, but I rewatched them and I actually find them to be quite entertaining and very funny. The speed dating Gotham is a personal favorite, I think. But I do understand why some people absolutely hate this movie, but give this movie a chance, and there is a small, microscopical chance that you will think that this movie is as good as I think it is. It's not a comedy classic, it's not one of the greatest comedies I've ever seen, but considering how good I thought this movie was going to be compared to what I actually ended up thinking about it, man, it was night and day. Movie 43 is a tricky movie really to rate. I probably should, you know, just rate the individual segments and then see what the combined rating is, but I'm not going to do that. But I will say this, that I will give movie 43 68 points. This is a very funny comedy. Precisely the type of messed up, fucked up comedy that I have a soft spot for. Everybody will not like this, some people will absolutely hate it, and some will be indifferent to it. But I think that for me, it works splendidly. So what did you think about movie 43? Comment below, and I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.